right, so welcome in episode 001 of the Modern Dealer Podcast. My name is David Farmer, and with me is David Bertoncini.
Hello. Let's get this thing started with the Modern Dealer Podcast, episode 001. We're ready to do it.
Yeah, so today our main topic is going to be what is Google My Business and how you can use it for your car dealership. But before we get started, since this is our inaugural episode, I thought it'd be a good idea just to take a moment and do a brief introduction of who we are and why we're doing what we're doing. So just real quick, my name is David Farmer. I'm the CEO and founder of Intice. We are a technology company in the automotive space. We supply technology to dealers to help them sell more cars online. I started this company in 2011, and I've been in the car business for 30 plus years. I actually met David Bertoncini back in 1998 when we were both at a dealership named Sutherland Toyota in Pinellas Park, Florida.
And I am David Bertoncini, CEO GSD. GSD is for Get Shit Done, with Hashtag Experts. Hashtag Experts also supports auto dealers with social media content. Our process is content creates customers. Also, as David had mentioned, my automotive background of 21 years in the automobile industry gave us all the expertise that we need to support this show and to give you a yin and yang view of how a dealership should be operating in the year 2020. As currently, this is actually 4th of July week, and we're down here in Florida on the surface of the sun. Nice and cool out today.
Yeah, 112 degrees today. It's going to be the hottest year and hottest day in 20 years, they say.
So it's definitely that's how it is here in Florida. But as we're bringing you this information, different points of views of different platforms, this is going to be one of the best podcasts you want to listen to get yourself up to speed on where your dealership should be performing in this modern day. And
I think, one of the reasons that I wanted to do a podcast like this is that in my day-to-day operation, working in the business that I'm in, I come across all of the new tools, the new technologies, different ways people can do different things around digital, around Google, around Facebook, around social, and it's what I get to do every single day. And I know that when you're sitting in the seat as a general sales manager, a general manager, a sales manager, that you have your hands full. You have to manage people, have to manage advertising, have to make sure that you're managing gross profit. I mean, you have a lot of things to do. So what we're able to do is take what we learn in our day-to-day operation and share it with you. So we're not the end-all be-all experts in every area. We just happen to be in a position to learn things, and we want to share those things as we learn it. And that's what we're going to do with Google My Business today.
And preparing for this podcast, for this Google My Business podcast, David actually opened my eyes to how this platform functions, and I was just completely taken back. Didn't realize you had what the importance of Google My Business is, and not to take too much away, but David, I'll let you cover the
So let me take a minute and I'll tell you exactly how Google identifies Google My Business. So Google My Business is a free tool that lets you manage how your local business appears across Google products like Maps and Search. If you run a business that serves customers at a particular location, or you serve customers within a designated service area, Google My Business can help you help people find you. Verified businesses on Google are twice as likely to be considered reputable by users. What you can do on Google My Business is maintain accurate information about your business online, interact with customers, and attract new customers. So that's how Google identifies what Google My Business is. Now, if you're curious of what your Google My Business platform looks like, we'll call it a platform. But if you're curious what that looks like, go to Google your name, your dealership's name, and on the right-hand side, you're going to find your Google My Business listing. It's going to include photos, videos, events, offers, reviews, products. There's a lot of stuff that is available, and that's what we're going to kind of dig into is how you can actually use it to attract more customers, interact with customers, and maintain the accurate information about your business online.
So in preparing for this, as I mentioned earlier, so David's business has been around for almost a decade. Mine's pretty fairly new, and I was unaware that I needed to verify my own Google My Business. So I went onto Google My Business. To be a verified business, as you mentioned a second ago, you have to actually get a verification code, so to your physical address. So I'm still waiting on my verification code. It takes about 5 days for it to arrive. I checked in the mail this morning before I came here, and it had not arrived. But verifying your physical address is the very first thing. And I helped actually a mechanic shop do this a couple months ago because they were verifying their business location. Chuck Urello, master mechanic with Toyota, his business is CEU mechanic shop in Seminole, Florida, and they had to verify their business location along with their Facebook. But when you verify it, it just it brings up all these different features and stuff like that from the Google My Business, which we're going to go through these features and benefits of this, and this does so much, and it was just eye-opening to me, and I smacked myself in the head when I realized I didn't verify it. But then once it's verified, I think a lot of people are not managing it properly, and we're going to go through this thing point by point and show you how to properly manage this and all the features of it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this. So what David was speaking about as far as verifying the business, Google is going to identify potential businesses and create a automated listing. As a business, you have the ability to create your own business, or if Google has already identified your business, it gives you the opportunity to claim it. Once you go through the claiming process, then you have the ability to manage the Google My Business account. Once you've gone through the claiming process and you have access to it, you are able to get into the management platform at business.google.com. Now, in the show notes, I am going to include a link to a brief video that is from Google and explains step by step the process that you need to take to claim your business. Now, I'm going to make the assumption that your dealership has already claimed your business and you have access to it. Once if you don't have access to it, whoever is administering your Google My Business page, you can ask them to grant you manager access. Once you have manager access, you're going to be able to log into the Google My Business platform like you see on the screen that I'm sharing right now. So on the left-hand side, you're going to see all the different areas of which you can manage. So on the home screen, it's going to give you kind of a dashboard look and approach of many of the different items that you can manage. It's going to show, things like your views, your searches, your activity, your latest post that's been added, all the reviews. This also gives you the ability to reply to any reviews that you have received. Speaking of reviews, I think that's probably something that we do need to talk about, David, is how important Google reviews are and where you're able to manage those.
So pulling up here, just looking at a couple different dealerships, pulling them up, and you see the very first thing that pulls up, like David said, is if you go searching in Google for a specific dealership. I put in this one here I know of in Sarasota, Gulf Coast Auto Brokers. Business has already been claimed, but the very first thing is somebody's going to look at your reviews. And if we just want to click right on the reviews themselves and just pull up just the most relevant, most recent reviews and kind of find out. It's kind of funny. You see all the good, 5-star reviews and everything like that. But then me, out of curiosity, I want to look at the 1-star reviews, kind of see what happened and see how long ago it was. So if somebody's not managing like this 1-star review, I'm going to click on that to see if anyone had replied to some of these 1-star reviews or less than 5-star reviews. So this is something that you want to keep on top of. And of course, anybody can write a review once they've gone into the business, but managing reviews is huge, obviously on the Google platform, because not just for automotive dealers, but any brick and mortar that out there this applies to. So anytime my wife and I go out of town, we go to a restaurant, the first thing she checks, she just hunts by reviews and see what's got the most reviews, and they got to have, in her eyes, they got to have more than 300 reviews for it to be something that's relevant. And these dealerships, this one here does have 278 reviews. I go to bigger stores and they're into the thousands, and that's really what you want. I mean, and of course, the most organic way to get good reviews is every single customer that comes through, as an active manager in a store, if they were happy with their experience, hey, Mr. Customer, you just write us a review on Google. And I know Google gives you, when you get the starter pack, those write us a review on Google. It's like little business cards you can hand out to customers and encourage customers, hey, give us a review. You can, of course, also entice them a few different ways, and we can show you a couple of different ways, methodologies you can do that without going across some gray areas.
Yeah, I think reviews is probably the single most important part of the Google My Business platform and how you can interact and share that. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take our first break, and then when we get back, we'll jump into some other tips and areas in how you can manage your reviews and manage your business, your Google My Business platform. All right, so we are back. We left off before the break talking about reviews. So a couple of things I wanted to share about the reviews themselves. Let me go ahead and log back into business.google.com and GMB. On the left-hand side, under reviews, once you click the reviews tab, it's going to open up the reviews section. Now you're going to find all of your reviews in this area, all that you have replied to, all of the ones that you haven't replied to, and our recommendation is that you're going to want to reply to all of them if you can. The easiest way to make this a simple process is if you click on the haven't replied tab, it's going to open up all of them, and then on the right of that you can go sort by lowest rating. That's going to pull up your lowest star rating first, and that's where I would start. It gives you the ability to respond to any and all Google reviews that you're getting in from GMB.
Responding to some of those 1-star, 1 and 2-star reviews. I mean, this is something that if this is in the hands of your advertiser, you may not see this, but this having, Google My Business has a app, and if you were alerted when you got these 1 and 2-star reviews, number one, replying to them quickly is the most important thing. But I love when I was a general sales manager and I had an upset customer from the service department, that you could turn an upset customer into a happy customer by getting, turn them into a car sale, turn them into service, turn that frown upside down was a goal for me. I love fighting those types of fires in the dealership that, an upset customer could be the worst form of advertisement, but you took the worst form and you turned them into the best form. And when you're done with them, you turn that 1 or 2-star review into a 5-star review, and you sold a car, you sold some service, or whichever department they were dissatisfied with in the dealership. So excellent opportunity, just taking some of this low-hanging fruit, literally low-hanging fruit, because these people were pissed at you. Yeah. And you turn them, you turn them into an opportunity. So it's easy.
Yeah, so we don't want to. We're not suggesting that we add something else to your plate. We know that you got a lot of things going on, making sure you got the right people, you got the right inventory, you're taking care of customers, you're working deals. Our recommendation is that you add something else to your plate. So there are a couple things that you can do. Number one, to make it easy, and if you want to manage it yourself, download the iOS mobile phone or the Android Google My Business app. It's a great application. As David just said, you can be alerted when anybody leaves a review, and or if they message you from the GMB platform, you're able to respond to it immediately right on your phone. So that'd be tip number one. Tip number two would be to assign this to what we call a social media champion. This is somebody that's going to be responsible for certain key things that you want to delegate to people. This could be delegated to a receptionist. It could be delegated to one of your star salespeople that you want to provide them some opportunity to move up into management. I think this is a great little task that you can give somebody to make sure that that they reply. So this doesn't have to be something that's managed by your advertising agency. It actually should be something that's managed in the store that's going to give you the opportunity to connect with people from the store. Just real quick on how to reply from a kind of blocking and tackling perspective. You click reviews, you click on haven't replied, you can sort them by low to high, click the reply button right there, and then you can add any response that you want. There's no right or wrong the way that you want to respond to these. It's just another opportunity to have an organic response.
And with those reviews and responses, since you're responding to those reviews, I mentioned earlier, we talked about earlier off of camera that this would actually help with your SEO, because this is going to help trigger some of your algorithms in Google to, seeing that you're that active in Google, it's going to bring that SEO up, right? Correct?
Yes. So yes, I mean, specifically, there's a couple reasons why that is. So Google does look at the engagement that you're having on the entire Google platform. They use that engagement to increase the relevancy score, both in their organic algorithms and then also in the search engine marketing. Your paid search, your ranking is going to go up. When your ranking goes up, that means you're more likely to be chosen for the number one spot in any of your advertisements, and a way to make sure that that's happening is by number one, engaging with the content from customers on the Google My Business platform, and then also tracking all of the traffic that you're getting from GMB to your dealership website, which would bring us to the next tip that we want to share with you, and that is UTM codes. So in addition to having the ability to add photos, manage reviews, use the messaging platform, you can also get organic traffic right from Google to your dealership website. That is kind of out of the box going to work in Google My Business, but you're not able to track it unless you add a UTM code. So let me just share with you exactly what I'm talking about. So a UTM code is a snippet of code that you can add to the end of a URL to track the performance of campaigns and content. There are 5 variants of URL perimeters you can track: source, medium, campaign, term, and content. Now, in order to build a UTM code or build this snippet of code, you can just Google UTM code builder, or just follow the link that we're going to add in the show notes. That's going to bring you to a UTM builder tool, and there are some specifics that you want to use, best practices, I should say, on how to set up your UTM codes from Google My Business. So in order to create a UTM code, there are 4 pieces of information you need: the URL of your dealership website, campaign source, medium, and campaign name. So the best practice recommendation is to use Google for source, organic for medium, and Google My Business with underscores between Google for the spaces for the campaign name. Once you have that built in here, you can click the copy button down at the bottom, go back over to business.google.com, go to the info section, and then a little bit ways down, you're going to see a little world icon. That is where the link to your website is going to be. If you click on the edit icon just to the right, and then you can paste in the entire URL that includes the UTM codes. Now, anytime somebody searches your dealership on Google, like I'm doing right now, on the right-hand side in GMB, you're going to see that there is a link to the website. That now is going to include all the UTM sources. The benefit of that is when you're measuring the success of all the organic clicks that you're getting to your website in Google Analytics, you're going to be able to see exactly which ones came from GMB.
Good tip to have in there. So, I mean, definitely want to use that. And as mentioned earlier, this is like a Facebook pixel. So if anyone that's done Facebook advertisements, you want to attach that pixel so you know exactly which campaign and the source of that came from. So you can see really what's working, especially if you're dealing with an advertiser and they said, well, this campaign's working. Well, prove it to me. Well, numbers lie. Numbers don't lie. People lie, but numbers don't lie. So you get the proof right there, because that's going to go right to your Google Analytics. So a trackable campaign that way. Hey, that all works for me.
There's a ton of information that we can share with UTM codes, how you want to use them to manage all your digital marketing. That by itself is a entire episode. So we're going to put that on our schedule as a main topic for one of our podcasts to come. So watch out for that one, UTM codes and how to use them. Let's go ahead and take another quick break, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk about all the different ways you can add information on Google My Business with posts. Okay, so we are back. Now let's just jump into posts. I think this is probably the next biggest section of things that you can do in the GMB. We're going to give you some good tips. So with this, you have the ability to add posts, and you're able to add different types of posts. You can add events, you can add offers, and you can add products. Now, first of all, let's just take a quick look at where you're going to see these. So if I Google a dealership's name, and then on the right-hand side, you're going to see the Google My Business posting, and then down at the bottom, this is where you're going to start to see all of the different posts. And Google is going to determine which ones they're going to show. You really can't control that, but the customer does have the ability to open up and look at all of the different posts. So as you can see here, we got some monthly lease specials for different models, and everything that's going to be available for that. So the question is, how do you add these to your GMB? So on the left-hand side, you click Posts, and then you can add an update, you can add a event, you can add an offer, a product, is what you're able to do. Now, all of the setups are basically the same, meaning that you have the ability to add a photo, you have the ability to add a title, you have a start date and an end date, and you can add more additional details around that post. Our recommendation for the way to use these is just follow the guidelines. So you're going to add an event. What could you do for an event, David?
Well, if you look at the date right there, start date 3rd of July. So tomorrow's 4th of July. If your store is going to do a cookout, post that we got hot dogs and hamburgers from 11 to 3 at the dealership. Come by and have a dog and a burger on us. Test drive a new vehicle. You can put all that in there as an event, and of course, then when you're out of the holiday weekend, if you want to do a coffee and cars, or if you've got a special promotion, that's where you put that at right there. A special promotion happening at the dealership, maybe a local celebrity is going to be there doing some signing of something, but that's where you want to plug that in at the events.
Offers is the next type that you can add, and you have basically the same content. You have a photo or a video that you can upload. You have an offer title, and you can add additional details about that. So my recommendation is, as soon as you get your incentives for that next for the new month, put those in. You got a $1,000 rebate on Camrys, put that in. You got 0% financing on F-150s, add that in. So you have a great source of content, and I can promise you that if you're doing it, none of your other competitors are doing that. So this is going to allow you to stand out from your competitors by doing something that's free, and easy to do, whether you're doing it yourself, whether you're doing it on your desktop, whether you're doing it on your mobile phone, or you're having your social media champion do it.
And under the ad offers, other than just your manufacturer offers, I mean, if you wanted to create your own offer that weekend, I mean, why not use this tool just to put an offer out there this weekend? This weekend only receive $500 more for your trade. Offer expires, close a business on Sunday. So, I mean, there's an opportunity right there to, other than manufacture, create your own offer. So I would be using the shit out of that.
And, I mean, you can also, once you create these, you can share these. So you can actually create the offer, grab the URL. It's a very simple thing. You got the share post thing right there. That's going to give you, and actually you can grab the URL and you can share it anywhere that you want based on using that URL, or with one button, you can share it on Facebook, Twitter, or you can send an email with that offer in there. So, I mean, that's a very simple way to use free tools that really puts a good polish on your organic post. Now, the next type you can add is products. Under the products tab, again, the same thing. You can add a photo, product name, a price, or a price range, and you can add additional information about it. My recommendation would be, as new models come out, and when you first get started, just create a product post for every different model that you have, and put that in there. And then as new models come out, that's the time that you're going to want to add that. Now, also keep in mind, we're only talking about the sales department specials and offers. You can do the exact same thing and use the same tools for service. So fixed operations, you can use this. You can do it. You can task that to your social media champion, or you can have one of the service advisors or fixed op director have access to this as well. It's a simple deal.
Buy 3, get 1 free on tires.
Yep.
I mean, that's a good thing to put out there. If you got an oil change special, whatever specials you're running in the service, is constantly updating that, pumping these new offers in there all the time. That just, as I said earlier, it's going to help raise the SEO. It's just keeping that relevance. Google uses relevance scores, Facebook uses relevance scores, and keeping that relevancy high is definitely the way to go. And refreshing your products too. I mean, if you have a redesign, 2020 Corolla was a complete redesign. Good looking car too. I mean, you put that in there, Supra coming out, whatever you've got that's hot and new that's coming out. I even thought of, if you accessorize a vehicle, that's a good place to put an accessorized vehicle. You may have spent $5,000 lifting a truck, and you want to put that under add product. Well, hey, is an existing product, but you can just bring it out there like a new product and consistently feeding Google new information.
Absolutely. So the next section we want to cover is probably one of the bigger sections of GMB, and that is the ability to upload photos. This is where you have the ability to really create a personality for your dealership. There's no magic here. It's very straightforward. On the left-hand side of GMB, you're going to see Photos tab. From the Photos tab, you have the ability to look at all of the photos, but then you can break them down into different sections. These same sections are available on the Google My Business listing itself. So if somebody comes in and looks at photos from your dealership, they're going to be able to look at all these. You're going to be able to upload photos for the interior of your dealership, the exterior of your dealership, There's a heading for at work. I would say this would be a great place to do some action shots. I mean, take your iPhone on a Saturday afternoon, take some pictures of customers working deals, salespeople working deals, taking test drives. It's just a great place where you can really create that personality for your dealership. And then the team. I think it's probably one of the funniest things in the world is you could pick out pick 10 different dealerships, and you go to the team photos under the About Us on those 10 dealership websites, and 9 of them are going to be incomplete. But this is a great an opportunity where you can take some photos of the team. You don't have to worry about putting a name. You don't have to worry about putting what their favorite color is or anything like that. Just take a picture of it and put it up there. And it's a great way to do it. Same thing with identity.
On that identity and team, putting some personality to it. There is one dealership I went on to look at their dealership website, and when you scroll over the meet the team, they have just your standard picture of your shirt and tie and looking super business. But when you actually scroll position your mouse over the picture, it converts to a second picture of that person, like with a goofy Hawaiian hat on or some big sunglasses or something goofy. But it's pretty funny, and that's the identity that dealership had created. But you do the same thing here with your team photos. I mean, just put a picture. You don't have to be shirt and tie. I mean, you can see how David and I are dressed right here if you're watching this on a replay on a YouTube and such. But put some personality out there that your people are people and they're approachable with this identity with these photos. So put some stuff out there that's fun, man. I mean, don't make it stuffy.
Yeah, put the social into social media. Now, the last trick that we're going to talk, or tip that we're going to address today before we get wrapped up, is 360 photos. Now, 360 photos isn't something you can just walk out with your iPhone and take some pictures and upload it. This is something has to be done by a special camera. Now, you can go out and you can buy it's a $300 or $400 camera that takes these special 360 images. So our recommendation is to find a professional photographer that is certified by Google. Now, I'm going to include a link in our show notes where Google has a listing of all of the certified providers, and you can search your area just by typing in your city, your state and your city, and it's going to give you a list of everybody that is certified by Google to take these 360 videos. So they'll come out to your dealership, they'll map your entire inside of the showroom, the exterior showroom. Some will even do value-added things like getting some drone footage, but they'll do that for you for anywhere between $300 and $1,500 for a full package, and they'll take care of uploading that right to your GMB account. And if you're not familiar with what a 360 view is, it's the street view type of photos. So you're able to scroll around, make it look like you're actually really there. But they do that right inside your showroom. If you already have it done, I'd recommend updating it. We've looked at a lot of them that are 4 or 5 years old. That's how Google My Business 360 photos are that old. Most dealerships just do it once, they check a box and they're done. So this might be a good time for you to say, let's go ahead and update that. Maybe you updated your service department, maybe you've had sort of remodeling. And I can promise you that the cars that you're selling today are going to be different than the cars you were selling 4 or 5 years ago. So having those updated models in those 360 photos will be a benefit as well. So again, 360 photos, can't really do it yourself. Easy place to find a trusted provider, spend a few $100, get somebody out there and get some fresh videos or fresh 360 photos and some videos.
Those 360 photos are just like when you're looking for a house and you see those virtual tours. They're 360 photos of these houses. It's walking into this house that you haven't seen, but you're looking at it from across the country. You're like, man, I'm definitely going to check that house out. But if you got a new dealership, remodeled, those 360 photos of every spot in the dealership. Maybe you got a new children's play area. You got a new Starbucks inside the dealership, whatever, cafeteria you may have stuff that maybe that interests a customer that he saw that. I mean, I was checking out the 360 photos, and hey, it's as silly as it is. I visit a lot of dealerships, and I know the dealerships that have the nicest bathrooms. It's like as goofy as can be. I'm like, man, this dealership's got the nicest, neatest, cleanest bathroom. I mean, show off every aspect of your dealership. You're going through your service department. I've read a couple posts of dealerships out there on Instagram that are looking for technicians. Well, if they Googled your dealership and the tech saw that you got a brand new air conditioned facility, I mean, that is something to help attract new employees. I actually walked into a brand new Toyota dealership here in Tampa Bay, courtesy Toyota. Walked in there and they have a tech's lounge, a technician's locker room and lounge with big PlayStation, 80-inch TV up on the wall for the techs when they're on break. They can get in there. I mean, just cool stuff like that, which maybe, may not be that, it could be interesting to a customer, and it could be interesting to a potential employee that you're out there hunting for some good talent. So, I mean, that's just another little hook out there to grab some good talent.
Yeah, and the reality is that we know, we could look at stats, we could pull up the stats, but the reality is that we know that customers are only going to go to one, maybe two dealerships. So how do you get your dealership to be number one on that shopping list? Well, customers are engaging with technology. They're engaging with Google. They're going to go and they're going to try to find a place that they feel comfortable doing business with. We all know that customers will drive past 2 or 3 other dealerships to get to your dealership if you give them enough, if you give them a good enough reason to do it. One extra thing that you can do is to make your dealership look unassuming, to make it look comfortable to do business with, to be able to see your salespeople's smiling faces, look like you're having a good time, and to really create some expectation. I know when I go into a dealership as a vendor that I have some anxiety about who's going to greet me, where do I go, where's the receptionist going to be, who am I going to talk to, who am I going to see, and salespeople are going to approach me thinking that I'm there as a customer. It's like, so I go through that. So if you as a dealer can put your customers' anxiety down, just checked down a couple notches where they have this visual of, okay, so I know what it's going to look like when I walk in the door. It looks like a very nice place. The people there look very friendly. It looks very clean. I think I'll be comfortable there. So, I mean, I think that how else are you going to be able to do that?
It's my new rule. I'm going to hashtag this, but I'm going to call it the triple C. Content creates customers. Yeah. So you got to put it out there. I mean, put every little aspect. That employee, lounge. They had another employee break room. I mean, although the customers won't ever set foot in there, but like, man, that's how good they take care of their employees. They got to take good care of me as a customer. It's just, it puts it in your customer's mind that way of just all these cool little, cool little views, man. It's awesome. I mean, you just keep dumping stuff in there, man. Even if it's not great, just dump it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a great way to wrap up our first inaugural podcast. So we're just a couple guys that love the car business, that love technology. We love to help. We love to learn different things, and that's what we want to share with you in the Modern Dealer podcast. It is something that we're both super passionate about, and I think this is going to give us a good venue to be able to share our passion with whoever decides to listen. So if you are listening to us right now, we appreciate the time that you've dedicated to listening to us. We're hoping that our podcast is going to get better every single week. We're going to continue to do our research on the topics that we're going to bring to you. We hope that we're able to bring value, that we're able to spark some imagination, to motivate you to try some of these different things that we talk about. So again, personally, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to do this. And I really hope that you enjoy what we're doing here at the Modern Dealer Podcast.
Hit us up in the show notes. Hit us up on all platforms of social media. With if you watch this, you listen to the end. Hit us up with a little episode. Hit us up with a little episode 1 in the comments, so we know you listened all the way to the end, and maybe we'll enter you in for a
free $25 Visa reward card. How about that?
Booyah! How about them apples? So yeah, hit us up there, and we'll register for a free Visa gift card on those, and we'll randomly pick that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a great day and sell some cars.
Crush it.